Hey everybody, welcome to Crack Pack Tuesday, number 71's bonus episode. We just opened a pack of Conspiracy Take the Crown, but we're going to open a pack of Conspiracy number 1. My local game store had a box of Conspiracy number 1 because we did an original Conspiracy draft the week before Take the Crown, just to get ready. But we're going to open this pack, see what's in it, and see what we would take pack 1, pick 1, with the knowledge that I only ever did 2 Conspiracy drafts. I don't even necessarily remember all the cards in this set, but we're going to open it up and take a guess at what we would take pack 1, pick 1. Hopefully it's just the foil Dak Faden that's in the back of here, but we'll take a look and see. Up first, we have Custos Squire. Custos Squire is 4 and a white for a 3/3 creature spirit cleric. It has flying and it has Will of the Council. When Custos Squire enters the battlefield, starting with you, each player votes for an artifact, creature, or enchantment card in your graveyard. Return each card with the most votes, or tied for the most votes, to your hand. So it's a 3/3 flyer that gets back kind of the card that you want, unless there's multiple players to vote for something else that's dumber in your graveyard than what you want. Yeah, it doesn't seem very good. I don't recall it being very good. Not something I'd be looking to take. Next up, we have Plated Sea Strider. Plated Sea Strider is blue for a Horned Turtle. I think a Horned Turtle is 1/4. Yeah, that's a Horned Turtle. Yeah, it's a vanilla 1/4 for blue. Blue kind of sucks. It's much better when this costs 2 and a blue. Yeah, this is if you want to, really delay the game and really set up walls, but it's certainly not something you would ever first pick. Up next, we have good old original Innistrad Silverchase Fox. 1 and a white for a creature fox. It's a 2/2. Pay 1 and a white, sacrifice Silverchase Fox, exile target enchantment. It's totally fine. It's a bear with a random upside. You would never play this and go, aha, there's going to be enchantments everywhere that I'm going to kill. You play this because it's a 2/2 for 2. And then if it happens to come up, it's even better. Never a first pick, though. Up next, we have Trumpet Blast. If you want to be super aggressive, Trumpet Blast is the way to go. 2 and a red for an instant. Attacking creatures get +2/+0 until end of turn. Never, ever, ever a first pick in any format. But includable if you are super aggressive. Up next is Torch Fiend. 1 and a red for a 2/1 creature devil. You pay red, sack, and destroy target artifact. So it's kind of like the red version of Silverchase Fox. Probably just as good, I would say. I think there's just as likely a chance of there being artifacts that you want to blow up as there are enchantments. It's, again, an original Innistrad card. There was a lot of Innistrad in Conspiracy 1, just like there's a lot of Theros in Conspiracy 2. Yeah, this is never a card that you would first pick, but you can always include it just as a creature, and then sometimes it will have an upside. Next up, we have Gnar Lid Pack. Gnar Lid Pack is 1 and a green for a 2/2 with multi-kicker, 1 and a green. Gnar Lid Pack enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each time it was kicked. So it's a 2/2 for 2. Totally fine. If you want to pay 4, you can make it a 3/3. So you can make it a Hill Giant? I think it's a Hill Giant. I can never remember the original names for these cards. If you want to pay 6, you can make it a 4/4. At that point, you're starting to get a little bit out of the realm of actually wanting to cast this. Yeah, it's fine. I would never first pick it. If you can go ramp and get this out a little bit early, maybe, but otherwise not super great. Next up is Necromantic Thirst. Necromantic Thirst is 2 black for an enchantment or enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature deals combat damage to a player, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Not too bad, and I don't recall the removal being amazing in Conspiracy, and spot removal isn't even that good in a multiplayer format anyways. You want like board wipes and stuff that will kill a lot of creatures. So this may not be too bad of a downside, but it is still an aura. It's still a 4-mana aura. And you still have to be hitting your opponent in order to get that creature back from the graveyard. So it's not something that I would really ever look at taking first pick, but I'm not sure. I imagine it probably wasn't good, but I don't quite recall. Next up is Copperhorn Scout. Copperhorn Scout is a single green mana for an Elf Scout. It's a 1/1. Whenever it attacks, untap each other creature you control. Really good. Really, really good. It gives basically your entire team, except for Copperhorn Scout, Vigilance, which is pretty darn solid. I don't think I'd ever first pick a Copperhorn Scout, but it really helps you be aggressive while still defending yourself. So, Copperhorn Scout, pretty good. Hopefully we get something that I recognize as first pickable at some point. Moment of Heroism, another Innistrad card. 1 and a white for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink until end of turn. I love this combat trick. +2/+2 for 2 is fine, and giving lifelink really can be a huge life swing when you actually connect with it. You never first pick it, but I'm always happy with a Moment of Heroism. On to the uncommons, we've got ourselves a Woodvine Elemental. Woodvine Elemental 4 green-white for an Elemental 4/4. It has Trample, and it has Parlay. Whenever Woodvine Elemental attacks, each player reveals the top card of his or her library. For each non-land card revealed this way, attacking creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Then each player draws a card. So it's a 4/4 Trample for 6 that, at best, could be an 8/8 Trample. And, of course, your opponents all get to draw cards, which is not necessarily the best thing. Yeah, this seems too expensive to me. It seems way too expensive for what it does. The upside is there, but the downside is there. Symmetrically giving everybody a draw is not really the competitive thing. It's the fun kind of multiplayer group hug thing, but it's not the competitive thing. So I don't think I would ever take a Woodvine Elemental. Next up, we have Quicksand. Quicksand is a land. Add 1 to your mana pool, or as we now know, colorless to your mana pool. Tap it, sacrifice Quicksand, target attacking creature without flying, gets -1/-2 until end of turn. Yeah, this is, pretty solid. Like, it hurts your mana base ever so slightly, so you might not want to play this if you're 3 colors. But if you're 2 colors, I would always include this, and it just kills an X2. Just straight up kills an attacking X2, and or stops them from attacking you in the first place. So I actually would consider Quicksand a first pickable card, especially because it goes in most decks. Next up, we have Savalas Charge. Savalas Charge is 4 and a green for a sorcery. Parlay, each player reveals the top card of his or her library. For each non-land card revealed this way, you put a 3/3 elephant creature token onto the battlefield. Then each player draws a card. So, 5 mana, and it potentially does nothing, except draws you a card. That's the worst case scenario. 5 mana, do nothing. That is horrible. The best case, of course, is 5 mana, and you end up with basically 12 power and 12 toughness on the battlefield. Plus your opponents all draw cards in addition to you. Yeah, I am not ever picking a card that very likely could be 5 mana do nothing. Or 5 mana draw me a card. Not a chance ever. Our rare, our first rare. Our first rare is Custos Soulbinders. Soulbinders 3 and a white for a 0/0 human cleric. Custos Soulbinders enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of creatures on the battlefield. So it's at least a 1/1. Pay 2 and a white, remove a counter from it. Put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Yeah, this seems pretty good. If you can go wide, you can drop this as, a 5/5, a 6/6, and then you can slowly just turn it into spirits, flying spirits. Yeah, it seems really good to me. I would absolutely 100% consider first picking that. Let's actually skip our second rare for a second. Our conspiracy is Muzio's Preparation. So it's a conspiracy. It's a hidden agenda, which means that you start this game with the conspiracy face down in the command zone and secretly name a card. So what we would do is we would write it on a post-it note and stick the post-it note to the front of it. You may turn this card face up at any time and reveal the chosen name. Each creature you control with the chosen name enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. So, for example, if we drafted, 7 Copperhorn Scouts, we could name Copperhorn Scout. And then, when we turn this face up, every Copperhorn Scout that we cast has a counter on it when it enters the battlefield. So they're all 2/2s for 1, which is massively, massively, massively good. Yeah, Muzio's Preparations is really fun. You want to take it early enough that you can really go in on it and start taking, all of the, take a bear, take all the Silver Chase Foxes that you can see, the common, totally fine vanilla test passing creatures, and then they suddenly blow up the vanilla test. So yeah, Muzio's Preparation is pretty fun. It's definitely a consideration for first pick if you want to get kind of cute and go in on that. So our second rare is a foil Grenzo Dungeon Warden. I wonder if that's worth anything. It's a legendary goblin. I imagine there must be commander players that love that guy. Anyways, he is X, black, red for a legendary creature goblin rogue. He's a 2/2. Grenzo Dungeon Warden enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. So it's a 2/2 for 2, it's a 3/3 for 3, it's a 4/4 for 4, it's a 5/5 for 5. It perfectly passes the vanilla test. Pay 2, put the bottom card of your library into your graveyard. If it's a creature card with power less than or equal to Grenzo's power, put it onto the battlefield. So you make Grenzo a 5/5, and you're probably going to put every creature that's on the bottom of your library onto the onto the battlefield for just 2 generic mana. That's ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. Grenzo is awesome. Grenzo is a snap first pick, and I think is probably going to be our first pick here. I think he's probably better than Soulbinders, and there's no way we're taking a Quicksand or Preparations over him. Plus, he's foil. So I am going to take the foil Grenzo Dungeon Warden. Let me know what you would be taking down in the comments below. Let me know how you enjoyed Conspiracy 1. Let me know how you're enjoying Conspiracy 2 as well. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at TheManaLeak. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me at Facebook.com/TheManaLeak and Twitch.tv/TheManaLeak. You found me here on YouTube. You've got that comment section down below. Please make use of it. Click that thumbs up icon if you enjoy the content. Click that subscribe button if you haven't already to see more. And if you do have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you all next time.